Hey, it's Jason, following up for our second night in the budget Amazon tent and stove. The last time we were out with my wife and I, everything was pretty good, but we did have a few issues, primarily with the chimney showering a lot of sparks down onto the tent, and we ended up getting, we counted about 17 burn holes in the tent. So tonight I'm heading out for a quick solo. We picked up a few things off Amazon that I'm hoping will remedy the sparking issue. So it's Friday, shortly after 8 p.m. Finally got everything packed up and ready to go. We're looking forward to get back in the woods and get set up for the night. Let's get back in the woods. All right, back in the woods. Only about a 10-minute hike in here. Super impressed how the toboggan, or the pulk, I guess, pulled in here. It basically just, I drilled some holes in it to put bungee cords on, because the last couple times I used it, it was falling over and stuff was falling out. And the other big thing that I added to it was we have just a car carrier bag that goes on the top of a vehicle. And that actually fit in there really, really well. Just kind of folded over and zipped up, and then everything was contained inside. So something to think about if you want to try it. All right, let's work on getting this tent set up and get some firewood together. Just getting things set up in here. Got trusty Tyvek down and my closed cell foam. Put that on the bottom layer, and then I'll put my thermarest in a little bit here. I want to get the stove going so I can make sure I get some heat on that new section of pipe before I'm in here and it's closed up. I'll get a good burn going and leave the door open. That way any fumes that come off it are going to be out the door. 9 p.m. So I've been out for about an hour. Tent didn't take long to get set up. It's pretty straightforward again. Not a whole lot of snow here again. We had a bunch and then it all melted, unfortunately. A little frustrating this winter. It's like getting to the end of February and we really haven't had a whole lot of winter. And some people like that, but not us. We like the seasons, different seasons, and have a lot of things we like to do in the wintertime. All right. I've got a bunch of yellow birch bark here that I got from a tree here. Key thing with birch bark is it's an awesome fire starter, but you just don't want to be taking anything down too close to the tree itself. It's okay to take the loose stuff on the outside, but once you start peeling away the layers that are really adhered to the tree, you can actually damage and kill the tree by doing that. So if you do take birch bark, just take the loose stuff on the edges. And the one thing I will say about the stove, it is definitely pretty small. You know, it's fine for, you know, inside a small shelter, but you're not going to heat a large tent with a stove. The other thing is your pieces of wood have to be cut fairly small. I think, what did I measure? 11 inches, I think, was about as long as you could kind of fit in there going straight in. So you might get something slightly longer than that, but not much. Here's with the elbow, and so I bought this elbow here. It's a 45, and this section of pipe here with has a little damper on the bottom. Anyway, I don't know if I'm just not getting the draw, but it's been smoking out the door a little bit, which it never was doing before. The damper is definitely open, which I checked. Just wondering if it's not getting the draw because this is either too long, or with the 45 is causing just the pipes to cool down too much and it's not getting a good draw. So I may put on my gloves and see about taking that 45 out and just running it straight up. It is going to be about 12 or 14 inches taller than it was before, but you can see we got a lot of holes from the last time. Okay, took that elbow out and got the pipe back together. It appears to have stopped the smoking out the door. I guess there was just too much angle for it to get a good draw. So from my experience so far anyways, any elbow is a no-go with this stove for sure. Alright, getting the bed set up here. Got, again, like I stated before, I actually have two real thin closed cell foam and Thermarest Z-Rest with my Thermarest inflatable on top of that. So I think it gives me a 4 or 5 R value. First, and got myself a real winter bag. So this is a Mountain Equipment Co-op -30 800 fill down bag. It is awesome. So it lofts up just amazing. It is super warm. Really like it. So one of the hardest parts about with winter camping is gathering a lot of firewood. Fortunately for me, especially since I've arrived so late, we have a good stock of firewood right here in our back woods for our little setup we have back here for camping. Anyway, the only thing is most of the wood is too long because it fits our other stove for our big canvas tent that we use back here. Anyway, I'm gonna cut up some smaller pieces and kind of get set up for the night here. A bunch of small hardwood chunks, which will be great. Oh, that smells good. All right, that should be more than enough. I don't intend on keeping the fire going all night. It's I'll be plenty warm in my sleeping bag, but keep it going here for a little bit longer, and then definitely want to have a nice fire in the morning, cook some breakfast up. Should be good. All right, just getting settled into bed, do a little reading. 10:30, so yeah, I guess it's been about 2.5 hours since I've been out. The stove seems to be working perfect now that I took that elbow out. No issues, not smoking at all like it was, so that's good. I think it's about -10 or so. It's pretty cozy in here. So I brought one of my favorite books of all time. I think I've probably read it about 3 or 4 times now, but I really enjoy true stories, and this one is written like a diary, basically, on an expedition that it's called Paddle to the Amazon. It's a father and initially 2 sons, and then just one son stuck around, and they do a paddle from basically Winnipeg to the mouth of the Amazon River. It's quite the book, but if you get a chance, check it out for sure. Morning all. Had a good sleep. This new sleeping bag is just awesome. It's so warm. Love it. I let the fire go out last night. I was actually really beat by 10:30. I was out. I did wake up a couple times in the night, but overall slept pretty well. It's 7 o'clock now. Got the fire going a little while ago just to get some warmth in here again, and I've got the kettle on, get some coffee going, and get some breakfast rolling.
Hungry this morning. Ready for some of this pea meal and eggs. That's gonna be good. So no issues with anything last night. Basically the tent set up well and stove set up well. We had a little problem with the 45-degree elbow. Once I did take that out, it looks like I never really had any other issues. Pretty happy with it. So here's the problem with me trying to read before bed. I got about 4 pages in last night, and of course, out I was. This pea meal is just about done. Get some eggs going. Delicious. A little bit of hot pepper cheese too. All right, time to break things down. Head back to the house. So another thing I did this time was I didn't put the pipes I didn't push them down in quite as far. It seems like they weren't quite as stable, though. That's the only downfall with that. So, so far they're coming apart just fine. Yeah, the new damper pipe's a little tight, but I'm gonna have to mess around with that. But that stove jack looks good still. I definitely liking the little tent and the stove. You know, they're small and portable, and but also affordable. So it's nice to be able to give the opportunity to get out. So again, this is our my second night in this with the burn, and really satisfied with it for sure. So I do recommend both the Gonex Solo Tipi tent and the FLTOM stainless stove. You can check them both out on Amazon. For starting out on a budget, I mean, even just, we're pretty experienced campers, and I'm quite content with it. So I definitely give both a thumbs up. By the looks of things, I think I only have maybe 1 or 2 new burn holes in this. So the extra length and the damper, in conjunction with just being careful loading it. Some people suggested that you just got to be careful setting your wood in there so it doesn't stir up a bunch of sparks. So definitely a lot better than it was the first time around. We'll just have to keep messing with it. Again, I'm going to try to do something with a spark arrestor on the top and see if that will be the cure-all. But really, a couple holes. I think you're going to expect to get some holes in your tent with this type of nylon material. It's doesn't handle sparks well at all. Okay, so one issue that a lot of people had mentioned, and I had as well, was the floor of the stove gets warped really bad only after a burn or two. So what I did to try to fix that was I cut a couple little slots. There's one here and one here. Now, it's still warped, but I was able to bring it back, because what it was 2 corners, the opposite corners were really cockeyed. So it ended up being out probably about 1.5 inches. It was so warped. So doing these little cuts actually brought it back to be not level, but pretty darn close. Much better. So Just a suggestion, you could put a little, I just used my angle grinder with a cutoff wheel and did a couple little zip cuts on it, and it's much better. Like a wood stove that you can carry like a lunchbox. It's a gorgeous morning here. The sun is shining. It's already warmed up to about 7 degrees, so it's 7 degrees C. So it's really nice. Still a little chilly getting started out, but just about packed up and ready to head back to the house. Only about a 10-minute walk. I was pleasantly surprised how easy that toboggan pulled in here last night too. Definitely will be good for some longer distances. So there wraps up another great night in the woods. I only got to slip away for basically one night, but it was really what I wanted to do, is get out and get some more time testing this tent and stove out to make sure that we're good to be able to head into some places where it takes a little longer to get in and out of. I hope that this couple videos on this stuff is helping you guys out. I know for me, you know, finding something that's budget worthy, especially with something like winter camping, most people are really only going to get out a handful of times a year. So to be able to put down, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 on a winter tent and stove setup is sometimes a hard pill to swallow for people. So these Amazon options definitely open up some opportunities for people maybe that either don't have the budget or don't really want to spend that kind of money on something that you're only going to use a handful of times a year. So maybe there's compromises compared to, you know, one of the high dollar setups. I'm sure there is, but honestly, this stuff works just fine and keeps you warm. Will work out a few little bugs, but gets you out in the woods, gets you winter camping without a big outlay of cash. So I hope this helped you out, and keep watching the videos. I'm going to have some more reviews as well as a video of some mistakes that new winter campers will do. Hopefully that will give some people that are new to camping and winter camping some ideas. So watch for that video coming up, and hope to get out with my son here for another one overnight at a really beautiful spot by a river. So that should be coming up in the next month or so. I appreciate you watching the channel, and if you hit the subscribe, that would help me out for sure. Until next time, thanks for watching.